This is full squad.
Relic.
You. Oh. Jump. Arm. Me.
This is full squad. Admiral rumors. He's up. Dismiss. Sure. To make on your side.
Hey, all right, Gearbox, let's go ahead and get this party started. Who doggy? Hey there. Hey. Welcome back to the House of G, the home of the original geek and the original gamer. Who doggy? Yep. I've been a geek and a gamer, well, since before it was mainstream and before it was cool. Who doggy? And yeah, here we are. We're just, well, if you're new to the stream, if you're new to the channel, lately I've been going through a stack of comic books that I've had sitting, well, unprotected for quite some time. It's kind of a miracle that I still have them and that they're in as good as condition as they are. So I've been, been going through them, skimming through them, stuff like that, while I've been bagging and boarding them, getting them into storage. And well, let me show you something here real quick. Oh, chocolate. Yeah, so when I got started on this journey, well, came across this company, BCW, and they had these very interesting boxes. And they just make comic book collecting and storage that much more fun. So let me show you what we're working with here. So yeah, we got here, boom, the Transformers. This is the IDW iteration, but as you can see, at least, animation wise, I guess you could say, they very much look like the real deal there. And let me tell you, I have too much fun with this every single time. Good morning, Remy. How you doing there? Welcome back. It's good. Always good to see you there, Remy. I'm just showing anybody new that's watching my comic book box here. And on the side, yeah, we got one Optimus Prime wielding the spark of life as only a Prime can. And the greatest of the Primes, Optimus himself. All right. But it doesn't end there. Let's get that bad boy in position. Yeah, let's see here. Okay. So then, yeah, if you take a look at the top of the box here, we got one Optimus Prime cleaning the clock of one Megatron. That is just a beautiful sight to behold right there, if you ask me. Good old-fashioned good versus evil. Good triumphing over evil. That is how it's supposed to be, folks. None of this ambiguous, he's just a misunderstood villain. No. You got the good guy. You got the bad guy. You got the good guy cleaning the clock of the bad guy. That's how it's supposed to work. It's just one of the reasons why I love this box. It's too cool for school. It is too much fun. Boom shakalaka. So hey, how you doing there, Remy? Yeah, all right. It's time for another House of G. Yeah, that is an old school expression right there. I honestly, I don't hear it anymore. I love that old school stuff because it just there's so much meaning behind it, and a lot of lost meaning nowadays. But yeah, it's fun to use some of those old school expressions. Hoo doggy, yeah. Hope you had a great weekend there, Remy. I did get your email. I just got it this morning because yesterday I just crashed and burned so hard. Jiminy Cricket last week. Oh my gosh, that was an endurance race last week. I know you got a lot of stuff going on, and I started something last week that Jiminy Cricket, man. It's something for the channel, my main channel at least. I should be able to apply it to the House of G at some point. My goodness, man, it's been. But last week it was a little on the brutal side. Yeah, exactly. Reclaiming the good stuff. That's a good way to put it. That's exactly what we're trying to do here. This modern stuff, the woke nonsense, as they like to put it. It's pretty clear at this point. Their direct goal, their driving goal, is to destroy pop culture altogether. Because some people may think that this type of thing is silly. It's kind of childish and whatnot. I can understand why they see it that way. I mean, you look at stuff like this, and a bunch of cartoony artwork, stuff like that. But make no mistake, some of this artwork is really good artwork. But by and large, I mean, the really important thing about it are the stories. The comic book medium, that's just the medium for telling the story. You got the characters and all that stuff. And these are like some people like to say, some other channels especially. It's our modern mythology. And yeah, this stuff's not real, but it is founded in reality. And the people that have taken control of our pop culture, they don't want us to have our heroes. They don't want us to have our inspiration. They don't want us to be able to reach for something better, something higher. They don't want us to they don't want us to find redemption and second chances. They don't want us to discover the best possible versions of ourselves. They don't want that. And that's just insidious, in my humble opinion. It just goes to show how insidious their agenda really is. So yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Reclaiming the good stuff that we lost to the losers. I like that, Remy. I like that. Because that is spot on right there. It really is. And that's why I'm loving this House of G series. Going through my collection here, because it really it puts a finer point on it. Some of this stuff was good stuff back in the day, and there's no way that this stuff would fly in modern comic books, modern pop culture, because the losers have taken control, and they don't want the rest of us to feel. They don't want us to feel good about ourselves. They don't want the rest of us to. They don't want us to lift our heads high. They don't want us to. They want to rob us of our basic human dignity and decency. It's just. All right, let's see if we can dig ourselves out of that particular rabbit hole for the time being. Boom Shakalaka. Okay, so we're going to start off here with one X-Force. Yeah, Deadpool's back. The Blood Hunters. Now this guy, I'm actually not 100% sure who he is. Looks vaguely familiar. I do remember this cover from a long time ago. And then, yep, we got ourselves Deadpool here. So this is issue number 2 of X-Force. Surprising. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, issue number 2. So this is an older one. Definitely an older one. Not in the best condition, unfortunately, because of the state of my, just my life in general, being fairly nomadic. Let's see here. Jimmy Cricket. September of 1991. So this is number 2. X-Force. Number 2. September of 1991. So that's 29 and a half. Almost a good 30 years ago at this point. This is 30 years old. That's kind of mind-blowing. Jimmy Cricket, man. And considering the fact that it has not been bagged and boarded and stored properly this entire time, it's in pretty good condition. It's like the corners don't look terrible. A little bit of a something up there at the top. There is a little bit of the ink on the right, that little information box right there, the data box. Yeah, the ink is a little bit worn and stuff like that. But other than that, I mean, it's not near mint, but it's in pretty good condition, which is shocking for a 30-year-old comic book. It's never seen the inside of a bag with a board. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick look at this and see what's going on. See if we can glean any gems out of it. The old comic books have hidden the gems of storytelling we are all looking for in a short and sweet form. You love this channel, Grammy? I appreciate that. Thank you for that, Rami. You just made my day. You might have just made my week right there. I appreciate. That's how much I appreciate it. Yeah, that is exactly it. That's why I'm doing this. By and large, it didn't quite start off that way. I was just looking for some content to do. Honestly, I was just looking for content to do. I couldn't keep doing what I was doing because my main channel it's starting to come together. So I just need content to do. But it's turned out to be a pretty amazing turn of events for the channel. Let me tell you, it's definitely keeping the channel going. Where else would I find this info? What info are you referring to exactly? I hate this delay. I hate this delay so much. I hate this delay so much. I might just need a one of these days I will have a 2 PC streaming setup. I don't know how long it's going to take. Hopefully that'll streamline things there a bit better, especially for like this type of live streaming. It really helps having a real time. Oh, gotcha. No, I see what you're saying. No, yeah, exactly. That's a good point. Because when I think about it, I mean, you got all these channels. They are about gaming, comic books, pop culture, entertainment. But mostly they complain about the nonsense that's going on, which is fine. But yeah, in my humble opinion, it's a bit on the superficial side. I'm not saying they're wrong or anything like that, but by and large, yeah, they don't really dig down to the core of the problem. They don't go very deep. Some of them do to some extent. But I don't know. I'm not sure what it is exactly. I understand what you're saying. I'm not sure if I'm verbalizing it very well. Part of the, man, I don't know. But no, I understand what you're saying. And I of all the channels I have watched, and there's a lot of channels I have not watched, so I can't sit there and say nobody else is doing it. But of the channels I have watched, you're right. I haven't seen anybody else doing it quite like this, which is a good thing because I'm trying to be different. I'm trying to find my own voice. I don't want to be cookie cutter. I don't want to be copying everybody else, doing what everybody else is doing. So I appreciate that very much, Remy, because that's exactly what I'm going for. I'm trying to be different. And I've always been the type of person to dig deeper, to dig beneath the surface and whatnot. to ask questions that nobody else wants to ask, you know, if you know what I'm saying. I've always been that kind of person, which might be why becoming a biologist seemed to fit me so well. I love the field of biology. I love the field of science. I love asking questions, finding answers, figuring stuff out. So, you know, life has kind of brought me to this point, so now I'm applying all that to the House of G. Kirk, you are, yeah, love going back, discovering things missed, creating a new picture of the past and new perspective. Yeah, because like people, you know, they get the woke agenda and all that. Like I said, these people, the other channels are not necessarily wrong, but they're not digging as deep as they could be. And in my humble opinion, as deep as we need to be digging. It's not enough to sit there and say, "Oh, this stuff was woke. It's nonsense." Well, if this isn't how it's supposed to be, then how should it be? Well, the way to find out how it should be is to go back and take a look at the older stuff. This is 30 years old. This thing is 30 years old. I'm guaranteeing you, whatever's inside here, it's nothing like what they're doing today. So, you know, you gotta, the past matters. History matters, whether it's natural history, world history, or pop culture history. It doesn't matter. History matters. Merch. Are you saying that I need to come up with a merch line? You're a trooper, I mean, you really are. If I'm understanding that right, yeah. I would love to come up with some merch. I really would. That would be great. That's why I got this. This was I had this created for my main channel. There were multiple reasons why I did it so early on. One, because I wanted to have something there when I was streaming and everything. Hey, someday, maybe someday, Remy, hopefully sooner rather than later. We'll see here. I mean, I've got ideas for merch and stuff. It'd be great to be able to do stuff like that. It really would. I mean, I would love to do that. We'll see here. Like, gosh. Hopefully sooner rather than later. If, you know. Oh, Jimmy Cricket, man. See, I'm gonna be honest. I'm in a little bit over my head because I got two channels. This isn't even my main channel. This is a side channel that I'm doing. I got my main channel, Rebel Squadron, boom, right there, and like 99, like at least 90% of my time and energy is going into Rebel Squadron. So. No, you're awesome, Remy. I appreciate you. I really do. I'm grateful you enjoy the channel. It means a lot to me. It really does. Because let me tell you, a lot of these people that man, I don't want to. I'm trying to stay on track here. I might have to shoot you an email because we're kind of getting. No, yeah, timing is everything. I got to respond to your email, and I'll probably touch on some of this stuff. Yeah, it's like my dad's he's been a businessman his entire life, and I've picked up a few tricks from him and stuff like that. There are multiple reasons why I had this made. This is a custom hat. I had it made early on with my main channel. I would love to do some merch. Oh no, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry, Remy. I'm not complaint. It's not a complaint. It's not a complaint. Trust me. That's one of the great things about doing these live streams. You don't always know what direction they're gonna go. So trust me, it's not a complaint. I just gotta. Sometimes it takes a effort of will to get back on track. Let's put it that way. Yeah, like man, these other channels, like I say, I'm not saying they're wrong or anything like that, but they do focus like on a certain perspective and everything, and they to pretty much the exclusion of certain other things, such as what we're trying to do here on House of G. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just that's the way it is. That's the nature. That's where a lot of these channels are at this point. Like I said, I'm trying to do something different. And as far as merch goes, I'd love to get some merch going at some point. But like I was saying, Rebel Squadron is my main channel. That's starting to come together, and I'm most of my time and energy is going there. At some point, I would like to get. Oh, Jimmy Cricket! I just need time, is what I need, which means I need my main channel to blow up to the point where I can make money and hire people to do stuff for me that I'm doing right now, so I don't have to do everything. And I can start doing other stuff. That's the big dream. That's the big dream right there. Hopefully, maybe someday I'll get there. We'll see. In the meantime, do what I can. Do what we can. Yeah, it's I'm just trying to dig into this because the stuff that's going on, it matters. Not just in pop culture, in the world in general. There's a lot of connections, whether people want to admit it or not. Now, some of the stuff, like especially like in your email, you mentioned some stuff. I've gone to these channels and I've tried to have conversations about some of the stuff, and they just don't want to have those conversations. They don't. It's not stuff they want to talk about. Not stuff they want to even acknowledge. And I'm not going to try and force them to. So a couple months ago, I realized that the vision I had for my channel was not 100% compatible with the stuff that they were doing. So, like I said, I'm not going to try and force myself on them. I'm not going to try to force them to, embrace my vision. That's not how it works. That's not how I work. So, I've reined myself in from that stuff and started focusing more on my own vision, finding my own voice. That's where we're at with the House of G right now. And I need a break from the present sometimes because there's so much on repeat. This is a vacation from the Indiana Jones quest. So yeah, exactly. A break from the present. Well, that's a big part of what the House of G live stream is right now, is a break from all this stuff. Just trying to, at least that's how it started. Just trying to dig back into the old issues and everything. The what was it, Bob Ross, the painter guy, passed away. He used to refer them, they weren't mistakes, they were happy accidents. So the fact that we're diving into the stuff and finding connections between the past and the present and all that, those are happy accidents. And it's been great. No, it's been great. And I would definitely like to dive into it more. Excuse me. And we will definitely do that. We're getting there. So basically I had two stacks. I had a big stack of comic books that we are finally getting through. These are the last few issues in that stack. I had another smaller stack, much smaller stack. Still going to take a few weeks to get through that, and then we'll have everything bagged and boarded that it hasn't been. And at that point, then we'll be able to start doing we'll be able to start doing some other stuff with this. And like a Bob Ross of comics. That's quite the compliment right there. Thank you very much. Dude, that's so good. Especially since I can get pretty passionate about my opinions. I appreciate hearing that. That's I do. Jimmy Cricket, man. I am. Yeah, let's not go down that rabbit hole. So yeah. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Let's I'm just trying to do my thing. I'm trying to do my part in all of this, whatever that part is exactly. I still don't know yet. We'll get there though. We'll get there. Figure it out. That could be the unofficial slogan. If you want to put that out there, I won't complain. So yeah, I don't want to sit there and make that kind of a claim for myself that might be a little grandiose on my part. So if you want to put that out there, hey, I won't complain. I will not complain. All right, let's go ahead and get to this first issue here. This is it's always fun having you around, Remy. It really is. Okay, so yeah, we got X-Force number 2. 30-year-old issue, Jiminy Cricket, man. That's just kind of mind-blowing. Wow, 30-year-old issue. So we got, yeah, so something to do with X-Force, Deadpool. I don't know why they restarted the... You know, I have no idea. Is this, I don't know if this is... When did X-Force originally start? I'm not even sure. Actually, I'm curious about that. Let me look that up real quick. When did X-Force... actually begin? I don't think it was 30. I'm pretty sure it's older than that. It's gotta be older than that. Okay. Oh, the team first appeared in New Mutants 100 April 1980. Now this is according to Wikipedia. Wikipedia is a terrible source for information, but sometimes if situations like this, it's all right. It's probably fairly accurate. So X-Force, you know what? Jiminy Cricket, dude. This is actually the first, based on this information, this is the first X-Force title. This is number 2. I don't know if I got number 1 or not. This is number 2. Okay, that's good to know. Not in the best condition, unfortunately. It's not in the worst condition, but interesting. Okay, I just learned something. Done. Okay. I appreciate it, Remy. You can be my unofficial PR representative or something like that. I can't afford to pay you anything, but I appreciate it. This is just cracking me up. I love it. It's great. Thank you, Remy. Oh man. Okay, so yeah, this is actually the first title. This is when X-Force first began. It was introduced in New Mutants in that same year, and then they got around to giving them their own title. So okay, that is cool to know. That is actually pretty cool to know. Boom chakalaka. And so it actually begins with Deadpool versus this guy. Let's see here. I'm not actually sure who this guy is. Deadpool does refer to him as Kane. I don't know. They're at some doc or something like that. He refers to him as Kane. The name sounds familiar. I'm not 100% sure here. For the cause. I will respond to your email later today. Like I said, I crashed and burned so hard yesterday. I didn't even check the emails. Said you sent that on Saturday, so yeah, I'll be able to get to that today after the stream and everything. I did got some stuff I want to bring up, talk to you about and stuff like that. So we'll get to it. Let's see. So this guy Kane, interesting. He actually refers to himself as Weapon X, which now I've always considered Logan to be Weapon X, but it's also kind of my understanding that it was actually a project. Weapon X was the name of the project. So I'm not sure specifically. I know Logan wasn't the only one involved in Weapon X. Even though, when I think Weapon X, I think Wolverine. I think there were other people. I don't think it specifically applied to Logan. So I think, I don't know. So this guy's calling himself Weapon X. Apparently he's part of the program or something. Naturally, Deadpool is being his usual smart aleck self. So they're going at it. They're fighting, having a jolly conversation there. And well, apparently this guy has the ability to launch his fist at you. His hand, he's got like the magic hand or something like that. It shoots it at you. Clocks Deadpool in the face with it. Interesting. Very interesting. No, it's all good, Ram. Hey, it's all good. Now, believe me, you make this live stream much more interesting for me. Don't nothing to be. Besides, yeah, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. Boom, shakalak. And then who is this guy? You know what? This carried over from the first issue. There was something going on in the first issue. I got no idea. And then there's this guy pops up. I'm not sure who this guy is. Boom. He's with this Kane guy though. And apparently there was something going on. But him and Deadpool were going at it apparently in the first issue. And then boom, shakalaka. Oh, hello. Okay. So then it cuts away to another scene. Was that Cable? I think that's Cable. Looks like the rest of X-Force here. Yes, we got Cable there. Warpath. That's Warpath. So the last House of G, we went over an issue with Warpath and his younger brother. Well, there he is. He's alive and well. His brother's not part of the team yet, but there's Warpath and the other members of X-Force. Shatterstar, Domino. Is that Speedball? No, that's not Speedball. I forget his name. I'm not as familiar with like X-Force and X-Factor. Yeah, that's Cable there. Living large. Yeah, so interesting. Very, very interesting. I was wondering if Deadpool was funny in comics. Ryan was first moves hilarious. Yeah, Deadpool has always been written as a goofball, smart aleck, cracking jokes, stuff like that. He's like an R-rated version of Spider-Man, I guess you could say. I get mixed feelings about the movies. I don't plan on watching any more of the movies. Some of the stuff was pretty funny, but there's some very heavy feminist elements, let's put it that way, especially in the second movie, some more alphabet elements that I don't like, and I don't want to put myself through it. I don't want to spend money watching that, which is a shame because overall they're good movies, but there's those key elements that I can't bring myself to spend money on. So I'm pretty much done with the Deadpool movies at this point, which is unfortunate. But I mean, they're doing it to themselves. From what I do understand about Deadpool, at least back in the day, the original Deadpool, 30 years ago Deadpool, he wasn't like that. That's something they see. That's the thing that's one of the things about the movies that people have to understand. The movie versions of these characters are not the real characters. They take elements of the real characters and they add all of this woke stuff, and people don't want to admit it at this point, and I don't understand why, but the woke agenda is heavily founded in feminism and the alphabet community lifestyle. It's they keep trying to separate the two and they can't. They try, but you can't. And they just don't want to come to terms with it. I don't understand why. It's like they're so close. They're so close to really truly understanding what's going on here, but then at the very last second they pull back, and then they do kind of a 180, and they keep trying to walk this line. They keep trying to straddle the fence, and like I've said to some of these guys, one of these days the fence is going to rise up and impale them. Communism, yeah, that's definitely a big part of it. I wonder what I would think of it today. I'm a different mindset for sure. No, yeah, based on your email and everything, it sounds like you've definitely had quite a few experiences of your own. It sounds like you've had some close calls, no doubt about that. So I'm glad. I'm not going to go into the details of the email, but I'm glad you made some of the decisions that you did. Let's put it that way. Communism is definitely part of it. Look at Cyberpunk 2077, that game. I mean, it's blatantly communist, and it buried deep in the game. They try to play it off, but if they were really sincere about it being some sort of a joke, then the full story arc, the final piece that would actually reveal it to be some sort of joke, wouldn't have been so heavily buried. The communist aspect is just in your face. There's no reason to think otherwise. CD Projekt Red is a communist company, I'm telling you. Activision Blizzard, communist companies. The Marvel, DC, they've all gone communist. And it's very much a part of the problem. And that we're not going to go down that rabbit hole. We're not going to go down that rabbit hole. That would take over the stream. And it's one of those moments where I gotta willfully. It's not that I don't want to talk about it. It's just yeah, I'm sure I know you understand. That's just, yeah. Not what we're looking to. That's not the rabbit hole we're looking to go down today. Let's put it that way. I know you understand, Remy. I want to say this is Rob Liefeld because the artwork now it looks like his name on there. I'm scared. Let me see if I can find the. Where is it? I mean, usually they've got the. Yeah, there we go. Rob Liefeld. Ideas and pictures. I guess that's their way of saying artist. Pencils. So yeah, this is Rob Liefeld is drawing this, and the way I know that is because of stuff like this. That's definitely his artwork there. I know some people are crazy about Rob Liefeld. I've never been a huge fan of his. I'm not saying he's a terrible artist, but it's just I've never been a fan of his particular style. That's just me, I guess. Part of it's the mouths. It's like he seems to struggle with mouths. They always look the same. Let me give you an example here. So yeah, there's a Cable there. Take a look, and Shatterstar. Look at their mouths right there. They're fairly similar. And you look at this chick over here. That's a female mutant. Where is it? There we go. Pretty much the same mouth right there. Not a lot of variation. So it's, I don't know what it is. I know drawing is not easy. I've tried my hand at it, so I'm not going to sit here and like tear them apart or nothing like that. But he definitely seemed to have trouble with mouths, and for some reason that always bothered me. It's like, yeah. So, but yeah, this is Rob Liefeld is drawing this one. So yeah, we got the newly formed X-Force, or at least the newly recognized, whatever, doing their thing. Boom shakalaka. Looks like this cat-looking chick is actually facing off against X-Force for some reason, and not sure why. Now this is, keep in mind, this is 30 years ago, and they've made some changes to Shatterstar. This is the real Shatterstar. They made some changes to him. I don't agree with those changes. Need to be rolled back. I'm not going to get into it. I'm sure if you know anything about this character, especially in the modern world, you know what I'm talking about. We're dealing with alphabet stuff here that it's nonsense. That's the real original Shatterstar. So the real Shatterstar was an interesting character. The modern one that they've butchered, I don't want anything to do with him. So yeah, this is a little weird because it starts off with this guy in Deadpool, but then it goes like all out with the rest of the X-Force squad. And Deadpool and the other guy, they pretty much just drop off the map as far as the story goes. Which is always interesting because, I mean, they're on the cover. So you would think the issue would pretty much be about them. But it's not. It's not. What is going on here? What is going on here? Oh, we got Black. And then at the very end of the issue, we got Black Tom in the issue. Yeah, I know the guy. I know the character. I was never that familiar with him, but I think he's like a mystic type. Kind of like a Doctor Strange type of character, I think. And maybe then he apparently he summons a Juggernaut from somewhere. Apparently Juggernaut was maybe it was another dimension or in prison somewhere, I don't know. But he summons Juggernaut. Boom. Larger than life. Juggernaut's back. We got work to do, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, there's some pretty startling developments here. And that's the last panel for this one. Yeah, so without, reading it thoroughly, page for page and everything, there's some issues going on. I thought that cat chick was part of X-Force, but maybe, I don't know. I don't know if she's just having a female moment. Like a cat fight moment or something like that. I don't know. I'm not, without reading it thoroughly. But it's definitely X-Force. Like, it's got that X-Force vibe to it. Considering the fact that it is issue number 2 of the very first title of X-Force. It's a little disappointing that Deadpool has such a short presence. I mean, it's several pages. There's several pages, but then he just drops off the issue, even though he is on the cover. They definitely capitalized on the fact that Deadpool is in this issue. No doubt about that. And then focuses on the rest of the team. Oh, wait a minute. So they were doing some sort of exercise to prepare for ambush situations. And I guess I thought that chick was supposed to be part of the X-Force. I guess it was just it was just they're running exercises out in the wilderness, ambush and stuff like that. So they're just practicing stuff and having their dialogue as they're fighting. And at the very end, in comes Juggernaut. So it's a classic comic book right there. Classic comic book story. Team, they're engaging in team events, but then you got the, Deadpool going up against one of the Weapon X fellers, which, I would have to look at issue number 1 to see exactly what came before that. Interesting. So, not a bad issue. I mean, nothing too crazy groundbreaking or anything, except for the fact that Juggernaut pops up. Curious as to know what was going on with him before this, where he's being summoned from and everything. So, it's not a bad issue. It's not a bad issue. 30 years ago. 30 freaking years ago, man. It's crazy. And this is not the type of stuff that they would ever even consider putting out today. They would never do that. So, like I said, not a groundbreaking issue. Deadpool's back. Boom. I'm curious to how much page time he got in the first issue. I have absolutely no idea if I have issue number 1 or not. It's entirely possible that I don't. It's very easy to miss out on the first issue and everything. We'll find out one of these days if I have it or not. Juggernaut, an object of unreasoning devotion or sacrifice, a Hindu idol born in a large car. What? What? Under which victims formally threw themselves into crush right over. A Hindu idol born on a large... Wait, what? That's a weird one. What? What? But yeah, Juggernaut. I know it's supposed to be something like an unstoppable object and everything, which makes him an interesting character, especially when he meets up with an immovable object like the Blob or something. But the Hindu idol on a large car, under which victims... That's a new one. That's a new one for me. That's crazy. That sounds pretty crazy, dude. I might have to check that out someday. Wow. There we go. X-Force number 2 of the original title. Very first incarnation of X-Force. Boom shakalaka. It was April, I think. Nope. September of 1991. They first appeared in April of 1991 in the New Mutants. This one, in fact, has a Deadpool. A little disappointed at how short his appearance was in this time. Without a doubt, it was definitely original Deadpool there. Yeah, this is it was drawn by Rob Liefeld. According to the gross hit website in 1966. Yeah, I would probably trust a dictionary from 1966 over a modern dictionary at this point, because they have made changes in modern dictionaries that are just inexplicable and just downright wrong. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Yeah, that's X-Force number 2. I did not realize I had that in my collection. That's a pretty pleasant surprise right there, actually. That's that right there has already made this a fun House of G for me. Boom shakalaka. But yeah, so it's just such a huge difference. Like, even that wasn't like a ground shaking issue or anything like that. Nothing huge. I mean, you got Deadpool appearing, which is like always a big thing for people. He's, you know, he's a popular character. Story itself wasn't like earth shattering. They were practicing team tactics and stuff like that. At the end, you got Boom Juggernaut coming into the picture, so it seems like they were definitely setting the team up for something. Being the second issue of their title. And it's a brand new team that just appeared a few months before that. So, yeah, I didn't get the sense of any real nonsense or anything like that. So it was refreshing, to say the least. It wasn't like a groundbreaking issue, but it was refreshing. It was a run-of-the-mill comic books story issue. I mean, it's like, I don't regret spending money on it. Let's put it that way. Yeah. And it's just like, there's so much stuff going on in modern comic books. I mean, they've so thoroughly butchered these characters, these universes, their origins, everything about them. That's why I stopped buying comic books in 2012. I had that last desperate purchase in 2013. And that was it. Man, dude. That's why after I get through this last little stack that's sitting over there, bagged and boarded, yeah, I'm going to be going into these back issues deeper. Because I'm learning through this House of G so far. That's where I want to take the channel, and just drawing these contrasts between the comic books of yesterday and the comic books of today. It's been very telling. It's been very illuminating. Man, it's been a fairly crazy ride so far. It really has. Jiminy Cricket. Okay, so the next issue we're going to be taking a look at here, bagging and boarding here, the Batman Chronicles. Now, this is a very glossy cover. Not in the best condition, unfortunately. Yeah, there's a little bit of a wrinkle there. That's definitely not good. Yeah, this one is a little bit worse for the wear, unfortunately. But yeah, it's a very, very glossy cover. Very high quality ink and everything. So, what was it, $3 there? Yeah, $2.95. I think it was 1996 there. Issue number 3. So yeah, they were trying to do some sort of spin-off title here. I think it's just Winter of 96. Winter 96. Yeah, Canadian, $4.25. Yes, contrast. That's why history is so important, because if you don't know your history, you can't contrast it to the present to see where we went right, to see where we went wrong. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to erase the past to make the present everything. Because if that's all you've got is the present, there's no contrast. You can't see how much better off or worse off you are than you were yesterday. And if people they can't see that, if they can't contrast, if they can't compare, it's that much easier to control and dominate. Here come the reptilians. Yes, the reptile people are real. That's the crocodile. Yeah, that's the crocodile. I think that's literally. Yeah, it's a specific character. I don't know how familiar you are with the Batman Rogues Gallery, but yeah, that is crocodile. He's a specific. I don't know if it was I think it was a scientific experiment gone wrong, and it mutated him into this crocodile man thing. But yeah, the crocodile people, they are real, at least in the world of Batman. It's like. Oh, Jiminy Cricket, good times. Good times. Let's see here. I'm trying to find maybe that's the wrong page. I mean, it's 1996 on the cover there, so it's got to be. Yeah, there it is, 1996. Oh, hold on a second. Yeah, let me know. I got the soundtrack going. Let me know if it sounds all right. It's always difficult to tell on my end. I checked on my streams earlier, and it seemed like it was probably way too low, so I turned it up a bit. So here we go. So here's the artwork. Yeah, it's not like super detailed. Like, you know, the backgrounds are pretty vague and everything, but I mean, it's solid artwork. And yeah, the ink, the pages are very high quality. This is a high quality comic book from a purely material standpoint for $2.95. And that's another thing. The cost of comic books have gone up, and the size of the comic book, it keeps shrinking. Like if you look at the modern bags and boards versus Silver Age and Gold Age, they're constantly shrinking. Constantly. And the price keeps going up. And the quality, at least in the last decade or so, just keeps going down. That's another indicator. You got the inflation plus the artwork, the materials, all the stuff. But if you turn everything digital and you don't have any of the physical stuff anymore, you can't compare it. You don't realize just how much of a downward turn things have taken. Yeah, Egyptian reference. Yeah, there's a lot of these characters and stuff like that. There's a lot of, they draw from stuff like Greek mythology, Egyptian mythology, and, you know, archaeology, stuff like that. That's what I'm talking about. Like, a lot of these characters, they draw from reality. They draw from real life. And that's what made them such interesting characters. And nowadays they don't do that because that's offensive. That's appropriation. You can't have that anymore. But yeah, this is like, the Riddle of the Jinx Sphinx is the subtitle. You got the Riddler. Yeah, it looks like it's maybe a museum or something. Yeah, Riddler is definitely involved here. Oh, that's not a real Sphinx though. It's like it's a fake, like a fake, you know, one of those statue things. They're still putting it together or something like that. You got the wire frame and everything, but it is Egyptian themed, and with the Riddler involved, something is going on here. Wait, what is? Okay, so he's got his henchwomen, Quiz and Query. So this is 1996. It's on the older side, but he's got henchwomen. Not very creative there. They're wearing what? They're wearing like really skimpy workout outfits. There's nothing. What is going on? What? That's his henchwomen. Those are his henchmen. They're not even men. They're women, and they just look like they look like a couple of twins that he went to like the local gym. Or like, hey, I want you to work for me, and like he didn't offer them Riddler themed costumes. He's just like, hey, your Quiz, your Query, let's go commit some crime. And he just like yanked them out of the gym. What? What? What is this? What is this? What is this nonsense? And they're sitting there heaving he like knocks this guy out or something, and they pick this guy up and dump him in the dumpster or something. Like, really? You're gonna want a couple of dudes taking care of that kind of business. So yeah, back in the 1996, Kardashians. Yeah, he hired the Kardashians to do his dirty work. He gave them new names, but he didn't give them new outfits. Like, what kind of laziness? So you mentioned NAFTA in 1996. This is a 1996 issue. Let me make a quick note, just so I will get around to a virtual like police board type deal or something like that at some point. Batman Chronicles. Yeah, I'm trying to get a little bit better at documenting this stuff. Issue number 3, winter 1996. Yeah, it doesn't give a month. It just says, so I think this might have been like a quarterly series or something like that, because it says winter of 1996 instead of giving a month. So I think this was like a quarterly deal or something like that. Interesting though that this is 1996, late 1996, same year as NAFTA. Interesting. So yeah, a distinct lack of creativity there. Like he just yanked the Kardashians out of their gym and was like, "Hey, I'll pay you more money to be my henchwoman." And I mean, that's just ridiculous, right? Like, what is that? What is that? I mean, I'm laughing at it, but not for the reasons they were probably hoping for. That's just ridiculous. What is that? What is going on with this? It's like, yeah, I get it. They yanked them out of the gym, so they were in pretty good shape. But that's still just, what? No creativity, and just not realistic at all. Are you kidding me with this? Like I'm saying, so high quality, glossy. That is not some cheap ink. I mean, this was not a cheap issue to put together. The paper, high quality paper, high quality ink, very glossy. But then yet it's like I say in some of my videos and stuff, all flash and sizzle, but there's no steak when you bite into it. I mean, yes, it's all high quality materials, but then you got stuff like that, and it's like, what is that? It's just, yeah, more and more they depend on flashy, pretty graphics, stuff like that. But it's, when you bite into it, there's no substance. It's lacking in substance, lacking in creativity, and it's a pattern. It's been a developing pattern over the decades. This is from 1996. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, so I took note of that. One. Yeah. All flash and sizzle, no steak. I mean, I'm not saying there's no steak at all, but at this point, 1996, there's definitely signs to what's coming over the next 2 to 3 decades. So, I mean, other than that, so far, wait, what? Okay, this is, what? Okay, yeah, I was about to say something, and then this just kind of blew that out of the water. So we turn the page here, and boom, we got this blonde chick sitting at the desk. That's Sergeant Bach. That character sounds familiar. She's the police commissioner. Who is she? She's the police commissioner for Gotham. Who is she? I got no idea who she is. Where's Commissioner Gordon? I don't know what happened to Commissioner Gordon at this point. And who is she? I got no freaking clue. What's going on? Oh, they're getting materials, paper, and ink cheap from China. That is entirely possible. Because it's only $2.95. This issue is only $2.95. For this, even back in 1996, I mean, prices have gone up drastically in the last 3 decades, whether people realize it or not. We've been hit really hard with inflation. Yeah, high quality ink paper, that could have something to do with it. $2.95 seems a little on the cheap side for this level of quality. It really does. Even for 1996. Being this is winter of 96, this is later in the year. And yeah, so that raises an interesting question there. And then we got this commissioner chick. I don't know who she is. Like, who is she? Who the hell is she? I ain't got a freaking clue. I'm not liking this new commissioner. For oh, wait a minute. What? Wait a minute. This is Jim Gordon's wife. Hold on. What? I missed something. I mean, like I said, I've had a fairly somewhat semi-nomadic life at times, which is why my collection's kind of, it's a miracle I've got my collection to begin with. Why it's kind of a hodgepodge bit. At some point, James Gordon's wife became commissioner. How does that even work? She's not a police. She was a housewife, as far as I know. How is she commissioner? How is she a police commissioner? How does that even happen? That's just ridiculous. Man, I missed something. And the entire premise is just ludicrous. This is 1996, so this is what I'm talking about. Signs of the modern nonsense, this woke agenda, this woke nonsense, all this stuff, the destruction of pop culture and comic books. The signs were there even 30 years ago. This is 1996, 25, 30 years ago. The signs were there. The signs were there. That this was coming. The modern age of comic books was coming. Oh, and then it says that's the end of that particular story. But there's quite a few pages left. So maybe this was an anthology? The first is the... Okay, so you know what? That's what this was. The Batman Chronicles was an anthology of stories, which would explain why it was quarterly, possibly, instead of monthly. They just, instead of having 12 issues, they had 4 issues, and they took several issues and mashed them together. So it seems like they were trying to like make statements or something with these stories. I'm getting the sense. Starts out, so the second story starts off the first deepest cut, dealing with Zaz, and that I'm guessing that's a psychiatrist. Yeah, it's a psychiatrist. She's trying. Why do you kill people? Because he's an evil lunatic. This is what I'm talking. Like, oh my gosh, psychology is a pseudoscience, and some people might not understand what that is. Pseudoscience being it passes itself off as science, but it's not. There's nothing scientific about it. Psychology is one of the biggest scams in the modern world. It's literally a bunch of people making up stuff and saying, well, this is what I think about the human mind and the human condition. This is what I think it is. This is what I think it is. They do these research experiments and stuff like that, which is, once again, it's just them making up stuff and manipulating the data to validate these worlds that they're creating in their own minds and trying to apply it to the actual real life reality. I'm going off the rails here, but I mean, it's such a huge freaking scam. But it does make for interesting comic books. Let's put it that way. Zaz, he's a crazed psychopath. He's a murderer, and she's trying to find the humanity in him. Psychology is psyops. Exactly. That's a great way of putting it. Psychology is one of the biggest scams in modern. And they're applying it to comic book characters. They're applying it to comic book characters. This one was as a great example of it. Oh, okay. So I've been skimming through this. This is actually a great example of what we're talking about here. The psychiatrist, whatever she is, she's trying to humanize Zaz. She clearly says, I don't understand. You don't exhibit the usual signs of mental illness, no voices, no hallucinations, no dementia. So why do you kill? Gosh, because some people are evil. She's trying to humanize. She's like trying to find some rational explanation for why he kills. And not just kills, but murders. She makes the statement, but doing someone a favor by killing them, do you really believe that? And he's all like, eh. He's like mumbling, and she can't hear him, so she gets closer to the cage. She's like, what are you saying? I can't hear you. He reaches out, boom, grabs her by the neck, snaps her neck. She's dead. Because she was dumb. And he clearly states, because I choose to kill. There's no, he chooses to kill. Because he wants to kill. Right there. Now she's too dead to hear it, but he finally answers her question. I kill because I want to kill. Because I choose to kill. Psychology is... I'm not going to go traveling deeper down that rabbit hole. Yeah, planting seeds. That's what you can plant. Good seeds, and you can plant bad seeds. That's just a. I prefer to plant good seeds if I can, as much as I can as a human being. Yeah, there are people out there that want to plant bad seeds. And that's what they do. That's what they're doing with comic books and pop culture. They've been planting seeds for a long time, and they've been very bad seeds. Let's put it that way. This is a great example. This story right here is a great example of that. It's kind of crazy though, because at the very end, they very clearly display him as a cold-blooded murdering psychopath. He kills because he wants to kill, because he chooses to kill. They don't make any bones about it. They actually display the psychology as just a dumb bimbo trying to find some sort of redemptive quality in this evil murdering psychopath, and she pays for it with her life. So I got to give him that. I have to give him credit for that. So yeah, when this first getting into the story, I was like, oh, come on, are you serious with this? 1996, they still had some common sense there. And they reveal him as the murdering psychopath that he is, and that she's just this dumb bimbo psychiatrist trying to find redemptive quality in him. And he, instead of going the Joker route, where Joker turns Harley Quinn into, I forget her real name, he turns her into Harley Quinn. Zaz does her a favor and puts her out of her misery before he sends her down, before he drags her down that crazy psychopathic path. Keep in mind, I'm speaking in comic book terms here. I'm not talking from a stance of reality. I'm talking about comic book terms here. Just because anybody's just in case anybody's watching that can't differentiate reality from fantasy, just to qualify that. It's really pathetic that I even have to qualify that nowadays. Yeah, so they actually did the ending right on that one, and it's a great example of what we're talking about. Oh my goodness. Now, in the modern age, it wouldn't end this way. It would start off that way, but it would not end this way. In the modern comic book, yeah, he wouldn't kill her. They would probably fall in love, and she would, discover that he's this misunderstood murdering psychopath, and basically end up with another Joker Harley Quinn situation. Only, on steroids. That's my prediction of how that would go in the modern comic book world. Okay, so now we move on to Killer Croc, one of the reptile people. Yes, Killer Croc, Boom Chakalaka. Working my way back to you. Sounds so romantic there. So yeah, they're chasing after Killer Croc, trying to catch him. So he's in Louisiana at this point, leaving that particular city. What the? Yep, so Killer Croc doing what Killer Croc does. Man, I'm having a moment of deja vu. Maybe it's because I, just read it so long ago. But this scene, yeah, I remember this particular panel for some reason. Yeah, he'll start wearing her clothes. It's probably an accurate prediction right there, Remy, on your part. I think you might be hitting it right on the head there. So Killer Croc is on a train. He moves to this car that is padlocked. Even though it's padlocked, there's somebody inside. He throws the guy out, takes his hat for some reason, but not the rest of his clothes. Takes his spot. I don't know what that's supposed to mean exactly. But he just throws his bum out and takes his place along with his hat. So I guess that's something Killer Croc would do. Completely meaningless and just, evil for the most part. The guy might still be alive. I don't know. Got thrown out of a moving train. It depends on how fast the thing was moving. It's kind of humorous just because it was so nonsensical and just such a bad guy thing to do. Okay. But then there's this bull inside the car. So for some reason the bull didn't attack the other guy, but now it's attacking Killer Croc. Maybe he's not happy that Killer Croc was, such a douchebag. gores him there. And then Killer Croc literally just knocks the bull unconscious. And he's like, yeah, I'm a tough guy. What is this? I'm not really sure what this... Wait a minute. Holy Jiminy Cricket. So he knocks the bull out and then eats it. That was the bull. He eats the bull and like just cleans every piece of meat and organic material from the bull. And now he's in the sewer and he's like, big old satisfying belch. So it's just the Killer Croc being the Killer Croc. A little weird. So yeah, obviously that ending is meant to be humorous, funny. So it's a little unsettling because like, okay, so they're trying to spin like a funny side to the Killer Croc, I guess. But in the way I'm seeing this, in the year 2021, they're actively trying to humanize the Killer Croc. It's like, oh, he knocked this bull out and just ate it raw, every bit of meat from the bones. But it's okay because he was just hungry, and he's kicking back in the sewers like any man would after a hard day's work. It's supposed to be. They're trying to humanize the Killer Croc. I can see how back in the day it might have slipped under the radar. I might have thought it was kind of amusing. I don't think I was too impressed with it back in the day, but it wasn't like, it was kind of on the weird side, but it wasn't like, no major red flags maybe. But looking back, it's just like, that's just disturbing. I mean, they're clearly trying to humanize the Killer Croc. He's the Killer Croc. He's a murdering psychopath. He eats animals whole. He has the capacity to eat human beings whole. I think he's actually, it's been hinted at that he's done, at the very least hinted at that he's done stuff like that. Yeah, the It Clown. Yeah, that's a good analogy there. But they're trying to humanize him in this anthology. Some weird stuff. There's some weird stuff in here. 1996, Batman Chronicles. Pretty sure it's a quarterly anthology series that they did. I don't know how long it lasted. Some weird stuff in here. There's some weird stuff in here. Honestly, not terribly impressed with it. I don't think I bought that many of them. This might have been the only one that I purchased because it didn't mesh with me. The only one that they really got right was Zaz, in my opinion. Like the dumb bimbo blonde psychologist trying to understand the poor misunderstood murdering psychopath, and she paid with her price. That's the only one, in my humble opinion, that they really did right. Well, okay, so they actually get into. Wait a minute. They actually, I skipped over it, but they actually get into his first murder. So basically, he's an adrenaline junkie, and murdering people is like the ultimate adrenaline rush, based on this story, which just makes him a psychopath. I mean, that just makes him a psychopath straight up. So, in my humble opinion, the only story in this anthology that was actually possibly worth reading was Zaz. They portrayed him exactly how they should have. A murdering psychopath who kills people for the adrenaline rush. Introducing the reptilians. I was kind of kidding when I first said that, but now. Yeah, exactly, right? That's, as a normal human beings, you don't think like that. That's not how we think. But then you get people writing these stories. They've been taking over pop culture and comic books and stuff like that for the last 30, 40, 50 years. Slowly introducing stuff like that. And this is 1996. There's some weird stuff in here. There's some really weird stuff in this issue that very clear indicators of what is to come over the next 20, 30 years. This one was creepy. Not in hindsight. I do vaguely remember back in the day buying this, reading it. I wasn't like super impressed with it, But looking back on it, 25 years after the fact, there's some creepy stuff in here. Like Jimmy Cricket, man, man, my skin's actually kind of crawling a little bit after reading that. Yeah, adrenaline junkie, which actually makes sense. I mean, he's a murdering psychopath. He does it for the adrenaline rush. That's a villain. That's a textbook villain. No pity for him. And the dumb bimbo psychologist trying to find redemptive qualities in a murdering psychopath. It's not like with Harley Quinn and the Joker where she becomes her own supervillain. Like, she was clearly cracked from the beginning. This dumb broad, I kind of feel sorry for her, but I don't. She pays for it with her life, which is honestly, that's how it should actually go. It's like she picked let's just say that she picked the wrong psychopath to try to redeem. If she'd tried to redeem the Joker, she'd still be alive. She'd be a freaking Looney Tune herself, but she'd still be alive at least, right? I mean, it's like, I guess. I don't know if that'd be better or not. Man, there's just some weird stuff in this one, man. This one, especially 26 years after, it's just there's some disturbing stuff in this issue. Like, just disturbing. And I'm not talking about the story themselves. It's the fact that these stories were written to begin with, the way they were written, the humanization of Killer Croc, the laziness of the Riddler's henchwomen, just pulling the Kardashians out of their gym. What is that? I don't understand that. And the only story in this anthology that I personally believe they did the right way was the story of Zaz. So they were still doing some stuff right back in the day, but they were also doing some weird stuff. Yeah, I do remember back in the day, I wasn't particularly a huge fan of this issue. And looking at it in hindsight, something disturbing about it. There's just something disturbing about it. Batman Chronicles, issue number 3, winter of 1996. Interesting year to say the least. $2.95 seems a little on, man, some high quality ink and paper. High quality. Top notch. Huh. I made a note of that. So we'll have to... We'll get there. Oh, Jiminy Cricket, we're already over an hour rolling through the second issue. Yeah, I do. I remember not being completely comfortable with that issue back in the day. I do remember that. Jiminy Cricket, okay. All right, let's keep this party rolling here. Okay, so we're gonna now we're gonna take a look at one of my favorite characters, at least it used to be before they really weirdified him. Wolverine, August issue number 115. Now, if you notice here, this is part of the Operation Zero Tolerance story arc. So we went over one of those issues recently. Let's see if August. Let's see, what year was this? I remember issue number 1 of Wolverine when they first gave him his own title. I did buy that, I think. Yeah, August of 1997. Interesting. So this is about a year after that Batman Chronicles. So yeah, let's take a look and see what kind. Let's see what they did with Wolverine in that particular year. Mutants in Chains. Home. Okay. So it's guest starring X-Men. But then look at this. Featuring your new guide to the Marvel Universe. I'm not sure how I feel about that in looking back over 23 years. All right, 1997, 24 years at this point. Mutants in Chains. Your new guide to the Marvel Universe. Let's see exactly what they're getting at there. Okay. Chocolate. All right. Yeah, I'm the beard mustache thing is new for me. Relatively new. That's one thing I didn't know is that you'd get these little hairs. Yeah, it's not pleasant. But it's still worth it. I like it. I like this. This is new for me. I like doing this. This is I think I'm gonna keep it for a while. It's even with there's always gonna be advantages and disadvantages, and I think it's worth the little quirks of having one. So let's see here. Okay, so Wolverine returning from a mission in the Far East with some of the X-Men. Okay, so Zero Tolerance. Yeah, so there's someone named Bastion. I do vaguely remember him. He's apparently he's one of the driving forces behind this Zero Tolerance thing. Yeah, I don't know if you can read that, but his name's Bastion. And yeah, so I think there might have been a twist where he might have actually been a mutant. But maybe I'm just projecting a different story arc from a different title or something like that. I don't know. So yeah, we got some mutants that are all captured and chained up and stuff like that. I'm not sure who they are. That might be... kind of looks like almost Havoc or something. I don't know. We got some, yeah, so we got some mutants. They've been captured, chained up. They can't use their abilities. So yeah, it's a pretty dark time for the mutants at least. That looks like it might be Wolverine. I think that's Wolverine right there. Okay, so yeah, it looks like these are Cyclops, Phoenix, Wolverine, Storm, and Cannonball that he's got prisoner. And I don't know what he's going to do with them. So yeah, something big happened in the previous issue here. Yeah, Wolverine is knocked out cold. Apparently he took a pretty heavy hit, major hit. And I'm guessing the only reason he's still alive is because of his mutant healing factor. Yeah, he's the best at what he does, and what he does ain't pretty. Let's just put it that way. It's actually one of his catch lines. I've always been a fan of Wolverine. He's always been an interesting character. He's got that berserker mentality and stuff. For some... What the funky Comaduna is that? What? I don't know what this is. I don't know who thought this was a good marketing tool. Yeah, comic book ads, you got there's some good ones, there's some questionable ones. This is for Mellow Yellow. Dude making some weird funky face. And it says down there, let it out. Another satisfied customer. If that's what Mellow Yellow does to you, it's no wonder I stopped drinking it so long ago. Well, see, yeah, slaves. Well, anytime you're a prisoner, see, this is one thing that a lot of people don't realize. For the most part, slavery has been outlawed in America, but there are certain slavery still exists, legalized slavery. People don't realize that. Being a prisoner in jail and prison, by definition, you are a slave to the government, but that's why we have due process. Because, I mean, you can't let these, somebody commits a crime, you can't just let them go unpunished. So, yeah, rampant slavery no longer exists. But in any civilized society, you're still going to have your prisons, your jails. That is a legalized form of slavery. So in and of itself, it's not a big thing. But the fact, it's you have to look at the overall context of the situation. In this situation, they're hunting mutants. There's at this point, there's no full-blown war between humanity and mutants. There are good mutants and bad mutants in this universe. So that's in that context. Yeah, in that context, it's not a good thing. The X-Men, they are fighting for the side of good and everything. They are fighting for peace ultimately between humanity and mutants. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of other factors involved. Let's see here. So, wait a minute. Wait. Wait a minute. Wait. What? Okay, as far as I can tell, he's trying to... I think this is some sort of incineration furnace. It's kind of... Okay, so yeah, he saved Phoenix by absorbing crash impact. That's why he's like knocked out of his, knocked unconscious, out of his mind and everything. Okay, so yeah, it's a furnace. It's some sort of fancy furnace. They take Wolverine, they throw him in this furnace. It's supposed to be an incinerator. But then he, his healing factor is doing its thing. He smells gas, which snaps him out of his his loopy state. And then they start to ignite the furnace, but before they can complete the action, well, as it's happening, boom, he comes blasting out of there, literally. As you can see, he's got his bone claws, so this is after he lost his adamantium to Magneto. And he's doing what Wolverine does best, kicking some butt. And as the furnace explodes behind him, so Bastion is trying to take Wolverine out of the equation permanently, and he nearly fails to do so. Boom, shakalaka. So what year was this? What year was this again? It was 1997. Okay, 1997. So far, it's pretty X-Men-y. Not really complaining too much here. But yeah, as far as enslaving the mutant kind and stuff like that, that does have some connotation with certain other real world events. I mean, look at Magneto. I mean, he literally came out of that era. So yeah, they're definitely drawing. I think I see what you're saying there. They're definitely drawing some parallels. It's definitely a double-edged sword, let's put it that way. Like in hindsight, just in and of itself, it's innocent enough. But looking at what they've done to comic books in the modern age, it kind of makes you wonder. It does make you wonder. So Wolverine breaks free. He releases the other X-Men. They're going at it. Boom, 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 boom. Trying to, survive and escape. And yeah, so they're just doing what the X-Men do. They're fighting for their lives. And I think that's Phoenix right there with that contraption on her head. This Bastion fellow. If I remember correctly, Bastion was actually a mutant. That was like his big secret, the big twist. And that's the end of this issue. And Wolverine's talking about how Bastion has openly declared war on mutant kind. So that's where this issue is going. Part of this whole Operation Zero Tolerance thing, where the humanity has finally had enough of what mutants have done to the world. That's at least that's the general context. I don't remember the specifics. No diamonds in this issue. Well, I know heat and pressure create diamonds out of coal, so I don't know if that's where you might have been going with that or something. But yeah, so this is it's not a bad issue. The lifetime of the title, X-Men and everything, it's always been, mutants striving to, or at least certain factions of mutants striving to coexist with humanity. And part of the whole zero tolerance thing, they finally bring out open warfare between humanity and mutants in general. So I kind of had mixed feelings about the whole thing, the whole premise. It's like that tension was always kind of a major factor of the X-Men, but then they broke the tension. They broke it, and they went all out, just like boom. And it's like I don't know. I would have to read more of it, more of the series and everything to really get a full grasp of it, of where they took it. But I don't. That tension was always a major factor of what made the X-Men so interesting, and they broke the tension. So I don't know. I'm not sure about that one. In and of itself, an isolated issue, it's all right. It's not bad. But the overall story arc of the zero tolerance thing, I don't know. I'd have to read more of it to see exactly where they went with it. However, with looking at modern comic books and everything, it would be very easy for them to have screwed this up. So I'm not terribly hopeful about it, especially with modern day Cyclops, Wolverine, and Jean Grey. What they did with them is just blasphemy, in my opinion. Comic book blasphemy. It's just like... So I'm honestly not that hopeful about this whole Operation Zero Tolerance thing. I don't know. We'll get there one of these days. We'll see exactly how many issues I've got in my collection for that, and try to get a better picture of it, what they did with it. I don't know. In and of itself, it was okay, but there are definitely possible signs of potential malarkey, depending on what they did with it. So, I don't know. Wolverine, August, issue number 115, the year 1997. So an interesting period of time, to say the least. I mean, he's Wolverine. He's definitely Wolverine in this issue. We'll leave it on that. He's definitely Wolverine doing what Wolverine does. So in that regard, they did him right. So Bone Claws, the Bone Claw era, after Magneto ripped out his adamantium, and yeah. Man, Wolverine was always one of my favorites, and I absolutely I hate and loathe and despise what they've done to him in the modern era. It's downright criminal. Let's put it that way. Okay, so now we get to the coup de grace. Let's see here. Yeah, I hate saying literal signs of the times. Literally, I hate saying. Yeah, I hate saying literally anymore. It's like satire. It's like, what's the point of satire anymore when satire is all coming true? There is no satire anymore. This lunacy, this ludicrousy, it's all becoming reality. It's like, what? The Twilight Zone is supposed to be a fictional show. It's not supposed to be real. What is going on? What is happening? I just don't get it. It's like there's almost no point in saying literally. I mean, I think I get your. I at least get in the vibe with the. Oh, Jimmy freaking crook! I'm trying. Okay, let's get back on track because I'm about to dive into a rebel rant. That's what I'm going for here. Okay, so we got Wolverine. Now we're actually going back a bit here. This is Wolverine, Relic of Doom, but it's going back to issue number 97. If it'll, I don't know if you can read that. Issue 97. So we're actually, oh no, May of 97. Okay, so we are going back a couple issues, not as far as I thought. It's May of 1997, but it's actually issue 113, which you might not be able to read there. Issue 113. So we're going back 2 issues before Operation Zero Tolerance. So let's find out how it ties into that whole entire overreaching story arc. But it is the Relic of Doom. So we're going a little bit of Indiana Jones here. I forget what's the theme song on that. It's been so long since I've seen an Indiana Jones. No, that might be A-Team actually. What I'm thinking. But of course, interesting. We start off with a mime. Like what? What? Why is there a mime in Logan's beat down apartment? And he's juggling a bunch of knives and he's talking. Mimes don't talk. Why is this mime talking? What is going on here? This is already starting off with a big old whole bunch of question marks. What? Apparently he's an assassin who has selected a very interesting modus operandi. Okay. So, okay, this is issue 113, and it starts off with this box, and apparently Wolverine came into its possession in issue number 111 by someone named Zoe. I'm not sure who that is, and somehow this mime assassin has the box. Why is there a mime assassin? What is going on with this? So yeah, he's bantering with this guy, talking to this guy while he's got this inner dialogue going on, trying to assess the situation. And then there's some sort of flashback. I don't know. And there's this immediate flashback to, I don't know, the distant past-ish. Looks like maybe something around the 1940s or something like that. I'm not 100% sure what's going on. Got some dude here cracking a soldier with a stick. Oh, that might be Logan right there. Yeah, he smashes a brick in the guy's face or something like that. I'm guessing these are communist type soldiers. These ads, man. Like, what? Yeah. Weird. So he faces off against these soldiers, and they ultimately just let him go. Wait a minute. Okay, weird. Maybe they're not communists, but they're, I don't know. It's an older time. I'm not even sure what country this is. I don't know. So Logan jumps in, beats up these soldiers, and this guy's about to attempt to, decapitate him or something like that. I don't know. But he's like, oh, there's defiance, there's no fear in your eyes. You should check out this dojo. So I'm not really understanding that. He attacks these soldiers, and the guy invites them to a dojo for training. I guess that's supposed to lead into... that's just lazy. I guess that's supposed to lead into how he learned his fighting skills or something. I don't know. But in my opinion, that's just lazy writing right there. It's like, oh, you attack these soldiers, I'm gonna punish you by cutting your head off. But then, oh wait, no, I'm gonna not cut your head off. I'm gonna invite you to this dojo. It doesn't make any sense. This is. It's like, you have surprised me this day, Westerner. If you should ever decide to study the martial arts, please present yourself at the Ogun Arayu Dojo in Kanazawa. What? And I will fill the void within your mind, your body, your soul. Heed my words, you will not regret it. I'm not really feeling it. Like, I understand what they're going. I kind of understand what they're going for there, but I'm not feeling it. It seems lazy. Wait a minute. Hold on. Okay, so the soldier is chasing after this old man for some reason. Okay, I get the feeling these soldiers are like an occupying force. I'm trying not to read every little... Oh, okay, so this is what's... Okay, I kind of missed something there. So the soldier is chasing after the old man who's got this block thing. And Yeah, it's the Japanese Imperial Army. The Japanese. Okay, so I kind of missed something there. It's the Japanese Imperial Army. It sounds like they're occupying this other country. This one soldier chasing after another. This old man. There's another. There are actually two soldiers. So this one soldier is just, he's ready to kill the old man. And then, you know, these other people stand up to him, whatever. And then his superior officer comes in and strikes him down for, I guess, being dishonorable or something. But here's the thing. Here's the thing with this. From what I understand about this era, I get the feeling it's like the World War II era. Maybe World War I. Actually, it might... kind of hard to tell. These rifles... It might be World War I. The Japanese, when they were doing their thing... No, because they were World War II, they were vicious. They were... From what I understand, at least especially when it comes to American POWs, they were not kind to their prisoners, to the people underneath them. They were not kind. Ruthless, brutal, vicious. But then they got this guy, and he's it's like that soldier. He seems more in line with how they treated people, from what I understand at least. And this guy, the superior officer, is not the stereotypical one, from what I understand of that time period. So I'm kind of wondering about that. Maybe that's some revisionist history or something like that. I don't know. It's not what I understand of that time period from the Japanese Imperial Army. So that raises some questions right there. This is 1997. 1997. Okay. Hold on. What have you done to me, Remy? What have you done to me? Let's... I know how to type. I swear. Okay, that's just a note. Yeah, maybe someday I'll look into that. We'll see here. Interesting though. Interesting. Let's see. So Yeaton. Okay, cuts back to the modern time. Got the mime going after Wolverine. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, without sitting here and reading the entire thing. It's one of the things I might do one of these days is yeah, after we get through this stuff, start doing a series where we sit down and go in depth with specific issues. Just to get a more thorough understanding of what the story is trying to say. Oh, you're definitely starting up ideas, no doubt about that. Oh, no doubt about that, Remy. It's like... Boom, chakalaka. I'm not necessarily complaining. I love when it happens to me, like the show for sure. Oh yeah. Like I said, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. And I mean, who knows? Maybe that particular aspect of the story might not even clicked if we hadn't had some of these conversations. So yeah, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. But it's going to take a little bit of research on that one, and I'm not sure when I'm going to have time to do it. But I am making notes. I am taking notes. So, might have to make use of those old dictionaries. I don't trust modern dictionaries anymore, which is crazy to even think of. It's like Merriam-Webster, stuff like that. I've seen some of the definitions they put in there, and I don't know how it's even possible for them to be making these changes. It's so ridiculous. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Okay, this might explain a few things here. So it looks like Yeah, it looks like Storm and Jean Grey pop into the picture here. The mime is fighting Logan. Jean Grey is about to do some sort of telepathic probe of the mime. And as soon as she makes that statement, boom, some weird entity, spiritual entity, comes blasting out of the mime. So yeah, so that explains the mime thing right there. That was an odd choice for an assassin's identity. Apparently he was possessed by some demonic entity. It's called a wraith entity. You like to block time. Oh yeah, that's a good way. That's a good way to do it. Yeah, scheduling your time and everything. That's definitely a good way to do it. I've actually put together a loose schedule for the channel and everything. I'm still sorting stuff out, but it definitely helps to make sure things get done in a timely manner. So it's a good way to go about it. But this entity actually enters into Jean Grey. Okay, that's not good. Because it wants the box. Okay, so this weird wraith demon entity is after the box, and it can take over people to achieve its goals. And wow, okay, so this box thing is apparently very pretty dangerous. Apparently there's something powerful going on with it. So much so that some demonic entity is trying to get its hands on it. It doesn't really explain the box. Yeah, it's still not explaining this Relic of Doom. And at the end we have what? What? Okay, so I think this is a character named Damon Hellstorm, son of Hades. Okay, so yeah, Hell is definitely getting involved here. Yes, it's Damon Hellstorm, son of Hades. He's involved in this somehow. Deathstrike is supposed to be in the next issue. I have absolutely no idea if this ties into the zero tolerance deal or not. I don't know. Interesting. But Wolverine has definitely found himself hip deep in some supernatural intrigue here. So, yeah, this Hellstrom's got a crystal that once belonged to the former Sorcerer Supreme. I guess that's before Doctor Strange. Interesting. Okay, so I'm actually a little intrigued about what this box is about. It's a little weird because it does have an X on the box, which is, makes you think X-Men. So, I don't know. I'm a little intrigued. I will say that much. Cricket. It's, I don't know. I mean, overall, it's not bad. It's definitely a bit of an X-Men story, but more focusing on Wolverine. And, yeah, he's had some interesting stuff happening in his backstory and everything. So this is, I don't know. What secrets inside this box hold the key to Wolvie's past and future? It doesn't explain it. That's the thing. It's a little bit of a clickbait issue. It's like it drags you in and it doesn't explain it. It is the comic book equivalent of clickbait. It's like, oh man. But apparently this box, this relic, is extremely powerful. That much I'm able to get out of it. And black box, email works. Email works for me. Yeah, some sort of it's an ancient box. And there's something, Ancient Cube. There's something, it's very powerful. But that's all we get out of this issue. This is issue 113. So that last issue was 115, dealing with the zero tolerance. So I'm guessing issue 114 wraps it up. Maybe explains it better. I'm actually curious about it to see what exactly this deal is. Because it specifically says that it's tied into Wolverine's past and future. So in that regard, I'm actually interested in the next issue, picking up the next issue and reading it and finding out what's going on. This isn't a bad issue. It's not. In and of itself. So I'd have to read the next issue to find out exactly where they're going with it, what the whole deal is with the box. If we actually get any real answers out of it. So, issue 115 wasn't bad. There were some question marks that were not answered in that issue. But then we got this one, issue 113, 2 issues before that one. In and of itself, it's a fun issue. But it definitely leaves you with some question marks. It takes a supernatural turn that you're not expecting. And, I mean, you got Jean Grey there. She does the telepathy thing, so maybe that'll help. Maybe. Okay, so it's actually... Okay, so Jean Grey, she doesn't actually kick the entity out. It's actually Phoenix that kicks this Wraith demon out of her. Because, you know, they're not going to want to share the same host. So, poor Jean Grey, she's already dealing with a form of possession. Jeez, Pete, dude. Oh, man. Jean Grey, man. She's just having a rough time of it. No doubt about that. Along with Wolverine, man, he got a little tore up there. Yeah. So this wasn't a bad issue. It actually got my interest enough where I'd want to pick up the next issue and find out what's going on. And I mean, I'm assuming they wrap it up in the next issue because the issue after that is the whole zero tolerance thing. So unless this cube is somehow tied into zero tolerance, I have no idea at this point. I mean, it has to be wrapped up in the next issue. At least to a point where they can put it on a back burner. I don't know. I mean, Wolverine's not really a supernatural character. But, I mean, there's definitely been some potential there to tie in some supernatural stuff like they do with this one. Because he does deal with martial arts. He is a scrapper, you know. I know he's got martial arts background and everything. So when it comes to martial arts stuff, there's always potential for supernatural connections and stuff like that. It's not a bad issue. It's not a bad issue, especially being 1997. So, and you know, some of the other stuff that we just went over from that general time frame. Man. Oh man, dude. So I don't know if I have 114 because these were together. Yeah, I don't know if I have issue 114. I'm kind of thinking that I don't at this point. So I don't remember anything about a Relic. Any Wolverine issues about a Relic. I mean, unless maybe by some chance I had it bagged and boarded, which isn't impossible, but I don't know. Well, we'll find out here one of these days. We will definitely find out one of these days. So, okay. No, there we go. We got Indiana Logan and the Relic of Doom. Yeah, I'm just, man, it's been so long since I've heard the theme song. I might be mashing it with something else. But yeah, Boom Shakalaka. Wolverine, Relic of Doom. Not a bad issue. Not a bad issue. Very curious. It's got me curious. Like, it's what secrets inside, you know, does this box hold for his past and his future? And Wolverine's always been a mysterious character. When he first came on the scene, he had no memories. He didn't know where he came from, how he got his adamantium. And, you know, they have dived into his history over the decades. And he, especially back in the day, he was definitely one of my favorite characters. So yeah, I'm actually curious about this box thing. I'm actually pretty curious about what's going on here, what connection it has to Wolverine himself. I actually would not mind picking up 114 if I don't have it, and I don't think I do. I would not mind picking it up just to find out exactly what's going on. Yeah, so in that regard, it's not a bad issue. It's not a bad issue. If it makes you want to see what's going on in the next issue and everything, by and large, that's the sign of a good issue, you know. Nothing crazy groundbreaking, but definitely some crazy stuff going on in that one. And now, as far as 115, there was that little bit of questionable stuff regarding the Japanese Imperial soldiers from the past. I'm not sure how believable that particular scene was, so that I'm actually wondering about that. But other than that, it wasn't a bad issue. So, and I can pretty much guarantee you that issue was way better than anything you will read in the modern Wolverine era. Oh my gosh. I mean, I haven't purchased a new comic book since 2013. Last time I really truly collected comic books was 2012. And what I've heard about modern X-Men, specifically in this case Wolverine, Jean Grey, Cyclops, you couldn't pay me to pick up an issue. It's a dirty rotten shame what they've done. Dirty rotten shame. It's downright criminal. Jimmy Cricket, man. So who doggy? So yeah, that was it right there. Wolverine, Relic of Doom, and I think that's gonna do it for this particular House of G. It's been an interesting one to say the least. As always, unexpected surprises. Stuff does not go the way you expect it to, especially just looking at the cover. And some interesting concepts, question marks, stuff like that. Man, that Batman Chronicles, there's something disturbing about that one. I don't like, especially in hindsight, 20, 25 years of hindsight. I'm not liking that particular issue. There was that one story about Zaz. It was okay for what it was. It was okay for what it was. I think they actually did that one right. But the rest of it was just like, there's something off, like just off about it. And that was like 96 or so. Yeah, winter of 96. It's fascinating, to say the least. Who doggy? But yeah, so yeah, we're 2 hours in on this stream. Man, the House of G started off as I was aiming for like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and then like lately it's just been man, it's taken on a life of its own. Wasn't really expecting that, but who doggy? Yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. Hope you enjoyed watching. This has been another House of G with the Original Geek, Original Gamer, and Remy. I want to say thank you for hanging out again. As always, you've been just as entertaining for me as hopefully I've been for you. And yeah, I will definitely be seeing you in the emails there. I'll be sending you a response here. And man, I would like to possibility of doing additional House of G's. I don't think it's going to happen right now, at least. I guess so much stuff that I need to do for Rebel Squadron in channel and everything. I don't think I've got the time for it right now. Hopefully that'll change in the coming months and everything. So this might be about the extent of it for the time being. We'll see here. If I can kick things up a notch, I will. I want to. I definitely want to. There's we've got some good ideas going on here. I definitely inspired some stuff. Time will tell. We will see how it goes. Boom chakalaka. Who doggy? So, oh my gosh. Okay, so I got to rein it in here because right now my mind is going a mile a minute. And yeah, it's time to wrap this puppy up here. So yeah, that's kind of how things. That's just how my mind works. Sorry, I started going off on tangents upstairs, and I gotta when I was younger, I had no problem focusing. I was focused like a laser beam. Something happened, military, something changed. I got my theories, but I don't really know how to. Let's not go down that rabbit hole. Chili Crick. We've already opened up enough rabbit holes for this House of G. Boom shakalaka. All right, Remy, you have yourself a great one, and anybody else that's watching, hope you guys have a great Monday there. Hope this helps you get through it there and kick off the week. It definitely helps me. This kicks off my week in a great way, let me tell you. It's a lot of fun, at least on my end. Hopefully it's fun on your end there. No doubt about that. And boom shakalaka. Yep, this is the Original Geek, Original Gamer, House of G. I will see you next week, next Monday. Unless you want to kick over to the Rebel Squadron and check it out there. That channel, the goal there is entertainment through gaming at this point. Sign of intelligence, I'll take that as a compliment there. Oh, yeah. If my brain ever goes to sleep, that is pretty much going to be the day I die. Food dog, no doubt about that. All right. Let's wrap this up. All right, this is the House of G, home of the Original Geek and Gamer. You have yourself a fantastic Monday and a fantastic week. And we will see you on the flip side.